it's time to go back to Sunnydale. We recently caught up with the team at Vivendi Universal to talk about their latest game, a secret episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's chock full of slayery goodness and features all the best-known characters from the TV series, as well as a cast of demons, or as they prefer to be called, undead Americans.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Chaos Bleeds, actually takes place in Season 5. We wrote it as a lost episode.
And in this episode, Ethan Rayne, an old friend of Giles and a worshiper of the two-faced deity Janus, wreaks a little havoc amongst the Scoobies.
He likes to think of himself as a sort of chaos magician. He's a very evil, selfish, greedy man, but with charm. And he basically strikes a deal with the First to set up a competition, and if Ethan manages to win the competition, the First will grant him all the powers of a Lord of Chaos. And if he loses, he'll wind up as, you know, some kind of like lickspittle somewhere in the depths of hell.
So he asks Ethan to choose 5 contestants for this contest, and of course Ethan chooses Buffy, chooses Willow, chooses Faith, Spike, and Ethan also wanted to choose Oz, but Oz is off doing his thing with the werewolf, so he chooses Xander instead.
Just another day in the life of the Scooby Gang, sending another big bad to eternal damnation. But how do each of the gangs stack up?
They all have their own unique strengths and weaknesses. Personally, I like Faith, just kind of does what she does and doesn't listen to what's right or wrong.
Willow is obviously not the most physical of combatants. Her strength really lies in her use of magic. She can generate a miniature sun, which is fantastic for just frying all the vampires in the area. She can also create fireballs that she can send out homing after vampires and demons, which is another great way to get rid of those guys.
And Xander, not much of a fighter, so he utilizes a lot of different weapons, axes, and baseball bats.
And lastly, but definitely not least, you get to play as Sid, the demon hunter trapped in a ventriloquist doll's body. Sid, being that he's made of wood, has a certain amount of durability. He's also very small, which is actually the main useful feature of Sid in the game.
No Slayer experience would be complete without a big box of death-dealing weapons, and Chaos Reign has enough pointy things to keep players busy for quite a while.
Well, seeing as it's a vampire slaying game, there's a heavy stake usage. There's also a host of other good ways of dispatching vampires. There's pool cues, there's shovels, there's the water pistol, which can fire holy water or hellfire. You can throw these little vials, bottles of hellfire and holy water like grenades. You can use swords.
If I'm in the middle of a battle and I don't have a stake, I can look at a chair, or I can look at a wooden table or a signpost and say, hey, if I walk up and kick that thing, the splinters from that I can actually pick up and use as a stake.
And then there's the best part, the cloud of dust that accompanies the death of a vamp.
When you kill vampires, they dust. You get that hanging skeleton for a second and then just collapse into a pile of dust.
Staking the vampires, that's the core of this game. And it was real important for us to get that just right, that satisfaction of driving a wooden stake into a vampire's chest.
A game like this is the chance for the designer's kooky side to take control, but they have to stay true to the world of Buffy. Now that led to some creative ideas.
When we set out to create the enemies for the game, obviously we were grounded in what has already been created for the show, and because this is an alternate dimension, a bleeding dimension, we were able to sort of expand upon that and come up with some pretty crazy things as well. For instance, in the Sunnydale Zoo, you'll be fighting zombie gorillas and zombie penguins and all sorts of crazy things.
Mutant chimpanzees. Wonderful. What's next?
As you can hear, the voices in the game are downright spiffy, probably because most of them are actors from the show.
This is Spike, Total Trigger Dialogue, 449.
Just remember that.
The only difference between acting on the set and doing the voiceover for the video game is that in the video game, you just have to heighten it just a little bit.
Get your filthy paws off me. Or whatever those things are.
The way we do the acting on Buffy is very straight, because that's where the humor can bounce off of.
I was sucking blood when you were still nursing a bottle.
So what does the man who puts the human in Spike think of the game?
You don't have to pay the game character to keep fighting. is the only difference between the game character and the character on the show. And it's not over after 48 minutes. You can keep playing, but otherwise it looks just like me. And I did all the voiceover, so it's going to sound like me. And I think my black coat is even cooler in the game.
Taking on such a popular show can be a challenge for game designers, but the team at Vivendi Universal has given this game their all.
First and foremost, the game has got to be great for Buffy fans and non-Buffy fans. I want this game to play great for the person who's never watched a Buffy episode. So it's a way to introduce them to the mythology and to the characters. So first and foremost, the game's accessible to everyone.
The writing in the show is fantastic. They managed to pack it full of drama, horror, and a huge amount of humor. It just helps create this whole feeling that this is a playable episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
After their extended trip throughout the Pacific Theater, the team's next stop was Arizona, where they were recording sounds of both Japanese and American machine guns.
We're in Wickenburg, Arizona. Arizona is one of the states in our great nation that will allow our Second Amendment rights, the fact that we can keep and bear arms and we can come out to the desert out here where it's absolutely arid and no people are around and we can fire what weapons we need to fire. This is the Lewis gun. This one happens to be in 30-06. Me.
The weapon list is kind of varying based on the suppliers that we have that can provide the weapons for us, but they encompass Allied handguns, rifles, submachine guns, all the way up to a 50mm water-cooled machine gun. And we'll basically spend 2 days out in the desert with the audio team, as well as a guy that works on special effects for us, a couple of character guys, and some animation people.
That water-cooled machine gun was the same type used to fend off Japanese Zeros during the attack on Pearl Harbor.
This is really cool. This is the water-cooled 50 caliber that we're going to be using on the deck of the California for the Pearl Harbor level. It took a lot of phone calls to get this one on set, so we're really excited to be out here filming this stuff today.
They also brought along 2 Japanese actors and some actual Marines who were dressed in period uniforms.
I'm aiming low on the... Those guys will be the ones firing the weapons, so when the animation team has to go back and choreograph that scene, they can just look at this video footage that we took in Arizona and put it together. And at the same time, the character team will look at all the lights and everything and see how it's reflecting. And the special effects guy will be able to see how the muzzle blast will appear and what the recoil will look like. And the audio team will be able to get an exact representation for how that weapon in particular sounds.
This is a U.S. rifle caliber 30 M1. Fires at a muzzle velocity of about 2,800 feet per second. There's a maximum effective range of
Supervising the entire operation was military consultant Captain Dale Dye.
I spent 21 years in the United States Marine Corps. When I retired from active service, I was a tremendous movie fan, in particular war movies. And what I found was that what I was seeing was not what I experienced. It wasn't the real thing. So I made up my mind that I was going to go to Hollywood and fix that. And so my thought was that just as we do in military training, you immerse the person in the lifestyle of a combat infantryman and then let him bring the truth to the screen. That was my theory. Everyone in Hollywood said, well, that's not necessary. It's called acting, Captain Dye.
Captain Dye went on to work with some of the biggest Hollywood directors.
We began to experiment with doing a first-person, really accurate World War II video game. When Steven Spielberg and Tom Hanks and I were in England and Ireland doing Saving Private Ryan. Steven Spielberg is a bit of a video game nut himself, and he brought me down there and he said, listen, we are going to design from the ground up a video game based on real-world World War II experiences.
I'm left-handed, never shot a gun right-handed before.
You never shot a what?
Weapon.
Sorry, weapon. Get over there. Just get down on your face.
Since the very beginning of the Medal of Honor series, Captain Dye has been taking his team through his infamous boot camp, and this game is no exception.
Time out. Yell when you go.
With every new crew that works on the Medal of Honor franchise, it's been kind of a tradition that they have to run through a bit of what I put actors through.
4, 5, 6, stop.
You just say, sir.
Sir.
And you say it after each count. Continue. I want them to understand. I think that's part of building the legacy of Medal of Honor. I want them to suffer a little bit, not even close to what the people they're depicting suffer. But I want them to understand what it is to be a soldier, and then bring that to the game.
Ultimately, it is the process of working with Captain Dye and several other military consultants that help bring the game to life.
It's really great working with each and every one of our historical/military consultants because they understand the subject matter, that we're making a game, that we can only go so far into realism without impinging on the fun factor. Going through Guadalcanal, we're not going to give the player muddy socks and gangrene and, and malaria, right? But they try to fill us in on the feel of what's the historical significance of holding on to that island and the airstrip and the airfield. And to try and build that into our missions, it really makes a difference because even if 10% of people don't pay attention or even 80%, somebody in there is going to get that. And one of our big things is for both veterans and historical buffs to go, hey, that's exactly spot on, that's right, but still have a fun time playing the game.
Next month, we're going to look into some of the other unique processes the EA team has implemented that makes this game worthy of the Medal of Honor franchise.
Repeat after me. This is my weapon.
This is my weapon.
This is my gun.
This is my gun.
This one's for fighting.
This one's for fighting.
This one's for fun.
And this one's for fun.
Very well.
It's wacky. It's wild. It's groovy. It's a cool way for us to play. It's the new EyeToy.
The whole idea for the EyeToy was to create a brand new way for people to play games and also to interact with gaming.
There's a wide group of people who just are intimidated by the controller, and we wanted to give them an experience. It's like interactive gaming. So we were using a camera as the input device.
With the EyeToy, it's so simple and it's very intuitive. You're the controller. You don't have to delve into a big 30-page manual. You just need to move your arms around and have fun with it.
The idea behind it is to have a more flexible, freer interface that won't replace the game controller, but it can be used for some gaming experiences that are different.
How does this all work? Well, it's all on the wrist.
You take the EyeToy USB camera out of the box and plug it into one of the 2 USB ports of the PlayStation 2, and there is a focusing lens you adjust. And once you do that, you're pretty much set to go. Everything about the menu is all done with your hands. You wiggle your fingers or wave your hand to select start. And once you get that going, you go ahead and pick a game and you just get right into it.
The motion tracking technology in the mini games basically see any movement so that the game player can interact with the graphics through his motion.
It is very sensitive, so you can even stick your finger up and you can touch something on the screen, or you can wiggle your fingers and it actually tracks a little bit of motion.
All these hand motions and finger wriggling seemed very intriguing to us, but there is a point to all this sleight of hand. We now see traditional parlor games in the new millennium.
The collection of mini games that comes with EyeToy were designed specifically as a social experience. They were designed to be fun to play when your friends come over and you get on camera and do funny things and you see yourself, kind of like Pictionary or charades.
It in fact encourages people to be silly and be crazy, so that you want to put on a show almost for your friends or family that are watching you. As long as you can move your body, you can have a blast, and your friends will have a blast watching you too.
And how do we blast off? What can we do with this new entertainment experience? It's a chance for us to perform, compete, and have a few yucks playing mini-games.
But there's a whole bunch of different genres that are incorporated into the EyeToy games, whether it's sports, music, fighting, even puzzle elements as well.
The mini games let you move your body to interact with the computer graphics that are drawn around the video. And so there's a kung fu game and you have to punch the guys as they come after you. And there's a dance game where you have to kind of touch to make the music happen. And there's a lot of different games.
There's about a dozen of them that vary from window washing, where you're moving your hands like this to wipe things from the window. We've got rhythm action games where you've got CDs coming in from the four corners and you have to capture these CDs and in time with the beat.
There are other games of puzzle elements where the screen will flip around in different types of areas and you're trying to figure out, should I move my hand up there, but on screen your hand is showing up in the lower left corner as opposed to the upper right.
This is the chance to make stars or fools of ourselves. And we get to be on TV, sort of.
The coolest thing about EyeToy really is the fact that you actually become part of the game now. You see yourself in the game, on the screen, and you physically interact with it now. You're not limited to controlling a character in the game. You are the star of the game.
I think that's really the neat thing, is actually kind of seeing yourself interact with the graphics around you. It kind of gives you this movie special effect thing that you can do in your own living room.
And others can see you too. With the EyeToy USB camera, you can create and record video messages that are played back through your PlayStation 2 gaming console.
Right now, you can actually record up to 60 seconds of video messaging for your friends and family, leave it for them. They can come home and turn it on and say, oh wait, there's a message from me.
There's a message for you from your mom. She wants you to come over for dinner.
The virtual next wave is breaking all around the world, and that's by design.
The technology was initially developed in the States, the game is developed in Europe, and everyone says it looks very Japanese. So it's a really kind of a funny worldwide experience.
We see a global game develop, and isn't it strange, the notion of gaining more control without using a controller?
We've seen really great strides lately in the graphics of games, and now I think we're going to start seeing even more strides in the user input and how you can convey what you want to happen.
Even though this has been in development in our R&D department for some time, it's still very early and we're still figuring out great new uses for the technology, and it's just going to get better from here, really.
And imagine our world of the future, where we can play just how we like with individual style and friendly groups.
The current EyeToy camera is a great piece of hardware that we are really excited about getting into people's homes, because I think there'll be all kinds of new gaming experiences that come out of it, and this is just the first one we see happening. And we're excited about this one, but then we're really excited about the future as well.
I see the future of gaming experiences definitely following the path that the EyeToy has created, taking the player out of just sitting in the living room and putting them into the game to create a truly unique gaming experience for everyone.
Bye.
It's a completely new way of experiencing the video game concept, as well as incorporating it into the experience of the movie.
Damn, not who I was hoping for.
The boys had this very unique idea about the video game, that they wanted to make the video game directly related to the movie. Enter the Matrix is written by the boys, directed by the boys, cut by the boys. So they're actually directly involved in the making of the video game, which was their idea from the beginning, which has never been done before.
This is Thaddeus, captain of the Osiris. We're going to attempt an emergency broadcast drop in the Matrix.
Sparks, I want the ship's guns online right now.
Command. First mention of the video game was that it was like a third movie. And it had this whole amazing, intricate story weaved into the stories in the movies.
Operator.
Get me out of here, Sparks. I've got agents right behind me.
Oh, I can't watch this.
You've basically taken Reloaded and expanded it out into two parallel stories, not just the film, not just the game. They're actually fully connected in every way.
Uh-oh, heads up, guys, incoming.
The Wachowskis had a piece of story to tell that they didn't really have time for in a 2-hour movie, where they would have told it if they had a 3-hour movie, and we get to do it in the video game.
Get to your exits.
I was like, how are they gonna shoot all of this? They're gonna shoot 2, 3, and this video game script.
Everybody has been able to work together to make the most incredible game you've ever played.
Larry and Andy insisted that the same, incredible kind of resources that are used on a film set were used for this video game footage. That meant that all the same equipment was used, the same film stock, with the same actors, all the same crew. There were hundreds of people on this set, and they're working on a video game.
Wu Ping and his crew were working on all the fight choreography of the movie. We're also doing all the fight choreography of the game.
We used Master Wu Ping and his team to take fight moves to another degree. It gives such an enormous variation to the player.
The fight moves we have are so much further beyond your standard kicks and punches that you've seen in a game. They're just sort of mind-blowing moves that Master Wu would choreograph for us.
When you're playing this video game, you're actually going to be playing his stunt actors just delivering fantastic three-dimensional fighting moves. We could have faked it with some stunt people in Hollywood, but it just wouldn't have been the same.
In this game, we're trying to actually go from beginning to end so that the fight moves end up being unique and different almost every single time.
Each character has hundreds more moves than the average fight game, 500-600 moves per character.
On top of it all, the camera moves were directed by Larry and Andy, so that a cool action moment takes on that flair that it would in a film.
In a video game, usually they'll just stick the camera here and it'll attach to the guy's head and it'll follow him perfectly as he moves, which isn't cinematic.
Because they wanted to make this more film-like, we had Larry and Andy actually directing the cameras that are in the gameplay, where they exist as characters walk around in the game. There's visual effects in the game. Unique visual effects.
The visual effects we're doing for the game, we're treating no differently. They're done to the same level of quality, the same resolution, done by the same companies from the movie.
It's good to be home.
You're going to see versions of shots that you'll find in the movie sort of reworked from Ghost and Niobe's point of view.
You don't have $1 million visual effects shots in games normally.
Ghost creates distraction.
Movie license games, if they're lucky, the character looks like the actor who was in the film, but usually they don't even get the rights to use that likeness.
You don't get an engaging performance, and that's something that's entirely new here. Real actors giving real performances, real stories.
This mission is suddenly looking very...
Listen, I'm gonna take the lead along that path to draw them out. You nail them as soon as they show themselves.
It's gonna raise the bar for what people understand to be a fight game in the same way that the Matrix film raised the bar in terms of what people saw as a fight sequence.
You do not truly know someone until you fight them.
David Perry, who was their personal choice for designing the game, wanted to make a game that no one has ever seen.
Movie games are generally not as well received because the game isn't quite the experience of the movie.
Chinese always sort of prided themselves on not doing sequels or not doing licensed games.
When I saw what they did inside their script and the story just goes off, the rabbit hole effectively just starts going deeper, then I really bit.
So we threw all our sort of corporate philosophy out the window and went after this just because it's And it's different than a license, you know.
We've made a game that has exploration, it has shooting, it has fighting, flying, driving, hacking.
And on top of that, you get an hour-long Matrix movie interspersed within the game that you can't see anywhere else.
I need to talk to Morpheus.
Believe me, Niobe, he needs you.
Where is he?
Just follow the sirens.
Let's go.
Larry and Andy actually decided which pieces are going to be dramatic and which pieces are going to be gameplay sections from a perspective of a gamer. They're doing it because they personally would love to sit down and play those sections of the game.
Destroy them.
You gotta see it. I mean, you gotta see it. When you grab hold of those controls and when you start punching those buttons, I mean, you'll see you can do things you've never done before.
There's a lot of things revealed in our game that this is the only place you're going to find it out. There's also some glimpses of movie 3, which I think you'll find interesting.
The brothers made it clear that they viewed the game as not just a merchandising deal like you would do making a Matrix lunchbox, but they really thought of it as what's going to be the most fun for the gamer and what's going to be a really fun game to play.
Man, reality can be a bitch.
Tell me about it.
That is hot.
If we fail, Neo fails. So are you red or blue on this?
Hi, my name's Sandra Mitchell. Today I'm going to show you a cool move for Harvest Moon, Save the Homeland. I'm going to teach you how to steal without being caught. Alright, what you need to do is go to the brownie farm, talk to Bob behind the counter and ask him for a part-time job. He'll give you some tools to use and you just go down to the field automatically. Once you're down here, you want to brush all the horses and brush the cow and milk the cow also. Make sure you get every single one, otherwise he's not going to pay you as much. Then once you're done milking and brushing, run over to the barn. You have to go inside to where you're supposed to feed the animals. Go over to the fodder dispenser, and when you get the fodder out, you want to put it in your backpack. And just keep doing this until the fodder's all gone. Once you're done, you want to run up the trail, go speak to Bob again so you can get your money. He pays you the full amount. It's usually around $200. He gives you the milk and he pays you for feeding them even though you didn't. You get to keep the milk and you stole the animal's food. And if you look in your pouch, there's the fodder. Now, except for days that it's raining and days that Bob's store is closed, you want to steal as often as you can because stealing is a lot more fun than working and it's a lot easier also.
Hi, my name's Casper, and today I'm going to show you how to unlock a hidden 2-player game in Mr. Mosquito. Okay, this trick's really simple, and all you do is from the title screen, you're going to want to rotate the right analog stick clockwise, and you're going to want to do this 30 times. And after every 10 times you do it, you're going to hear a little chime, and just keep rotating the right analog stick. And you don't want to stop, because if you stop rotating it, you're going to have to start over. Once you get 30 times, the screen will go black and the game Reckless Cyclist will load up. This is a 2-player game. When you press start, it's going to give you the controls screen so you know how to play. And This game's really simple. All you want to do is knock the other player off. Just remember, once you start rotating the right analog stick, don't stop until you reach 30 times or else you'll have to start from scratch. And one more thing to add, once you load the Reckless Cyclist, in order to get back to the original game, Mr. Mosquito, you'll have to soft reset by holding down all shoulder buttons and start and select at the same time, or resetting your system.
Hi, my name is Saul, and today I'm going to show you a cool move for the game Primal. I'm going to show you how to create a bridge for Jen to cross the river, and a hidden tarot card in the level Solemn. Switch to Scree, and head down this tunnel right here next to the lodestone. And when you get to the bottom of the shaft, you want to go through this room right here, and head down this tunnel. Once you get out of the tunnel, you want to cross the bridge. And when you get to the other side, you want to make a left. At this point, you just want to follow this path all the way to the mill. Okay, here's the mill. What you want to do is go inside the mill, head through the door on this other side, and you want to locate a tree. And all you have to do is approach the tree and press the X button. And as you can see, Scree is going to knock it over and create a bridge for Jen to get to the other side.
The job is a makeshift bridge.
Now, before you switch back to Jen and cross the river, head through the mill again and locate this wall right here. Looks like a staircase used to be here. And what you want to do is climb up to this ledge right here and enter this door. And if you look right here, there's a tarot card. Just press the X button to pick that up, and that tarot card will go into your inventory. Well, there it is. I just showed you how to create a bridge for Jen to cross the river, and I also showed you how to collect one of the many hidden tarot cards throughout the game. Have fun collecting the rest of the tarot cards. Hi, my name is Saul, and today I'm going to show you a cool move for the game Stuntman. I'm going to show you how to locate a photo of the development team. To start off this cool move, what you want to do is select driving games from the main menu, and then select Precision Test 1. Ignore these cones and the rest of the track, and just go around the building right here. And you want to drive towards the finish line. Once you get to the finish line, you want to point your vehicle towards this wall and press the L1 button. And if you drive a little closer, you can see it's the photo of the development team that created Stuntman. Sure, this cool move is not going to help you unlock any levels or vehicles, but if you're a big fan like I am, you get to see a photo of the people that brought you this game. It's pretty cool. Check it out.
Hi, I'm Manuel, and today I'm going to be showing you some areas in the Getaway where you can find some really cool cars. Let's take a look. Okay, so you start off from the level start position, heading straight. Come to this little alley, turn left. Then make another left here. And this road, you're going to be following it for a while, so just enjoy the drive. And remember, they drive on the left in England, so.
Stop! I need your details!
And coming over here to this park, you know, what I want to do is keep going this way. You're going to coming against opposite traffic, so for a little bit at least. It might be easier to drive up on the sidewalk. And follow this turn. Keep going right, and then you see this little alleyway over here, whatever it is. Follow this. And you'll find this little area, a couple of cars out here for you to take for a spin. And also in here in the garage, and one of my favorites, is a little go-kart. Just jump in and have some fun. There's a lot of other cars hidden throughout the city in the Getaway. If you unlock free roaming mode, then you have a better chance of finding them. You can just drive around without having to be hassled by cops or anything like that, or deal with the missions. So enjoy looking for the cars and good luck.
Summer's full of excitement with hot events brought to you by PlayStation 2. For the second year, 989 Sports and PlayStation 2 will start football season with a bang at NFL Kickoff. Join thousands of football fans at this free event featuring the best in music, sports, and gaming on September 4th in Washington, D.C. before the first game of the NFL season. The PlayStation 2 touring attraction will roll into the City of Angels for X Games 9 in Los Angeles, California, August 14th through the 18th. Be there to see the most exciting sports event of the year, as the biggest names in Moto X, skateboarding, inline, and BMX compete for the gold. Take a break from the madness and experience the hottest PlayStation 2 games of the summer.
So how do character designers take concepts from sketchpad to video game? We decided to hold a make-your-own character contest where the winner would have a chance to see his or her creation immortalized in, well, pixels. Over 300 entries poured in, and our 5 judges with their backgrounds in art direction, 3D modeling, programming, and production spent an entire day going over each and every one. But when the desk cleared, it was ERAD, designed by Ron Marchigona of Bethesda, Maryland, who was the victor. In this segment, our 3D modelers will bring ERAD to polygonal life through a series of steps.
The first thing we did was we scanned this image and brought it into Photoshop to prepare it for 3D. I took the scan and inverted it to make it easier for me to model in 3D Studio. I started with the leg, and essentially what I did was I took a box and I made it transparent enough so I could see the lines behind the box. By simply pushing and pulling vertices, I'm able to manipulate the box and make a totally new shape. Vertices are basically points in 3D that actually trace the outline of polygons, and polygons are the big red and gray filling between vertices. And then we do the same thing with the other segments. All the segments had a unique model made from a simple box, and as you can see, we have a completed leg. We hide the background so we can see what it looks like with all of its polygons. And we see that, yeah, it looks a lot like the drawing. And then I went ahead and started defining more of the shape of the actual head based on the background drawing here. I basically just started with a simple box like before and started to make the front of the nose by pushing and pulling vertices. I started making the faces for the cockpit, and I did a simple extrusion of the faces. As you can see, they grow to give them volume and depth. And then I did a little bevel, just so it's got some roundness to it. Then I started working on the turrets by simply doing the same thing I did with the cockpit, which was taking this initial shape here and just extruding and rotating to build basically this. And then I created the joints for the legs to fit, and that way the leg will have something to fit in. And if we move the dragon to where this drawing shows, he's pretty darn close. And here we have the finished head, and as you can see, without smoothing groups, the model looks kind of marshmallowy and soft, and we don't want him to be soft. We want him to be really hard-skinned, armored vehicle that's allowed to take some damage as well as give it. So we added smoothing groups to it. We built the rest of the dragon the same way we built the head and the legs, simply by building boxes, pulling and pushing vertices, and turning and rotating edges and scaling. Now the nice thing was that the legs were really similar to each other. So what we did was we simply just copied them and we mirrored them to the other side. We did the same thing with the wings, and here we have the finished model without textures. Here he is in wireframe mode. Nice, pretty clean model. After the model's been built, we start to texture it. So in order to make them look real and used, I had to go ahead and add combat scoring like carbon from explosions and battle scars and grease in the joints and random dirt details. This is the final textured version, and it's ready to be animated. You'll notice that the wings aren't filled in because the programmers fill them in with programmatic polys that are able to slide and bend and stretch according to the animation of the bones of the wing. Now that we have our initial position, we begin to create keys for each skeletal joint. Here are the keys that I've created, and here is the in-betweens that the computer created for me. Nice fluid animation. So the process from drawing through animation took close to 60 hours to complete. Here's ERAD with his final animations, ready to be exported to the programmer.
So my job is to take the max file once it's complete and export it and generate some code that does some special purpose animation that enables us to control the final model once it's over on the PlayStation side. So now we can control it just like we would a character in a game. For example, I can move the camera around and look at it from different angles, and then I'll press X again and it will land back on its little pedestal there. Something else that we've added in is the ability to fire the weapons and then some sound effects. So those are the kind of details that we add in after the fact that sort of bring a model to life.
There you have it. Start with any idea, turn it into vertices, triangles, and textures, then move it using intense mathematical computation. You can go anywhere you want. Our time spent building ERAD was so much fun, we decided to build a few more of the runner-up designs from the contest. What do you think? This is the development world of PlayStation 2. Our series, Dev 101, has shown you 4 ways in the last 4 issues to get a taste of it. Where you go from here is up to you. But as you know, there's a world of other gamers out there hungry for the next great title, and it might just come from you.
Hangar 1 to beat your own risk, continue on moving airway 1105. Turn right heading 350, join the Gorman 142 radio com, maintain 12000. Approved, change to Wyman Unicom 135.0 approved. Flight 122, taxi to your gate. Hangar 1. Good day.